What's up, y'all? This is your boy Jax, and welcome to another episode of the Drop That Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to get into some fight talk. I'm talking boxing and MMA. So let's get into the shits. First things up, boxing. Undisputed welterweight champion Terrence Bud Crawford. He holds the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, and the WBO welterweight championships. He just came off a splendid one-sided victory TKO of Errol Spence Jr. And it just got word that a rematch clause was basically for both. Whoever loses has the right to activate a rematch clause. Errol Spence Jr. activated his rematch clause. Now, the mandatory contender, number one contender, was named Boots Ennis. Now, I guess the IBF gave Terrence Bud Crawford a timeline on when he's got to accept the challenge of Boots Ennis. Now, Boots is a credible fighter. Does he have a big name? Probably not as far as promotion goes. It's not bigger than Spence Crawford Part 1. So, since that request was not accepted and Errol Spence Jr. activated his rematch clause to face Terrence Crawford one more time, IBF took upon themselves to strip Crawford of one of those 4 welterweight championships, which was the IBF title. So now Crawford only has the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO title. He no longer has the IBF welterweight title, which means he's no longer undisputed welterweight champion. Now, is there anything exciting for Crawford to participate in at 147, which is considered welterweight? Probably not. I think that was the last big fight at welterweight for the entire division. Crawford seems to be going in the direction of 154, which is super welterweight. Got plenty of names up there. We got Jamel Charlo, who holds the which belts he owns? I think he still holds the WBC, IBF, and WBA titles. They stripped him of the WBO title. So we don't have an undisputed champion, even though for over a year we actually had one. But it looks like the rematch clause has been activated for Errol Spence, and we might get the rematch at 154 between Crawford and Spence. Very, very shame, but this is kind of how, it doesn't, it generates money and eyes to fight for the undisputed title. To defend it, unless you have a big fucking name, it doesn't really matter. So, with that being said, I'm pretty sure that it's either going to be Crawford stripped of the last 3 titles, or he's probably going to forfeit all of them, vacate them, and take on Errol Spence Jr. possibly next summer at 154. Let's see. They still got to find a home now that PBC is no longer going to be distributed by Showtime Boxing. We might see it on Netflix, or we might see it on we might see it on Netflix, or we might see it on Amazon Prime. Moving right along with boxing, Jake Paul has now got scheduled a fight in December next month on DAZN against a fighter who is 10-1, more knockouts, boxing experience. Jake Paul wants to be taken seriously as a boxer. I think he's heading into the right direction. Is it going to shut people up once and for all? No. They're always going to find something to say, when Jake Paul's trying to challenge himself. I mean, no matter what you do, you're damn if you do, you're damn if you don't. Jake Paul has fought about, 3 MMA legends, former welterweight champion in T. Wood, Tyron Woodley twice. He defeated former UFC middleweight champion Anderson the Spider Silva. And he just defeated Nate Diaz recently. His only loss comes to Tommy Fury. I guess he's no longer chasing Tommy. I don't see a point. I think if it was in the States, I think Jake Paul defeats Tommy. Should you choose KSI? He just lost. I don't see the point on that one. You're not going to sell. He needs to get that name back a little bit. But he wants to take himself seriously as a boxer. He wants everybody to take him seriously as a boxer, chasing world championship dreams. And no shame in that. I mean, I think a fire probably sparked up his ass a little more now that Logan Paul defeated Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship over in the WWE. Out of the Paul brothers, we actually have an official champion now in a sport. So let's see how Jake Paul does this December. I think if he defeats this guy, I don't even know his name, August something. Shit, the only guy I ever knew that name August was August Salina. I don't even, the guy who was caught up in an entanglement with Jada Pinkett Smith. But let's see. I mean, I don't think it's going to be shown too many on the zone. It's definitely not going to kill a gate. It's from what I hear, it's going to be in a very, very small venue in Orlando. But who knows? Man, let's see how well he does. I think he's going to need a knockout in order to keep everyone interested, but not shut them up. They're not going to shut up no matter what. Now, next subject is going to be a subject of transition from boxing to MMA. It's a boxer possibly going to transition to mixed martial arts. I'm talking the Bronze Bomber, former WBC heavyweight champion, and Deontay Wilder. He sparked some interest in going into MMA. I don't know. Obviously, if he goes to MMA, he's going to go directly into a heavyweight division. Should he go to one championship, I would request him to stay the fuck out of there. Those are high-class strikers, but I'm not talking only boxing. I'm talking Muay Thai. I'm talking kickboxing. They'll probably chop his thin legs, pretty much kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme did in the film Kickboxer. Let me see. Bellator is probably coming to an end. PFL, maybe. I mean, they have a super fight division that could be interesting. Maybe even go one-on-one with Francis Ngannou. You ain't got to worry about kicks. Punches, you probably are going to have to test your strength out with those 4-ounce gloves before you get in the smart cage with Francis Ngannou. But don't even get me started on UFC. But from what I hear, Deontay Wilder and UFC president Dana White have a pretty cool relationship. I mean, Deontay Wilder has been going to the Contender Series over in Vegas, watching MMA, getting inspired. I don't know. I don't see him training and wrestling very well. I don't see him. I mean, boxing, he's great. I mean, he's in talks right now to be a part of the December 23rd event in Saudi Arabia. Not sure who he's fighting. But as a co-main event to Anthony Joshua, which could spark that if they both successfully win, they both face each other in Saudi Arabia next year. Who knows? Maybe they'll be the co-main event to Fury and Usyk. But let's see. I don't know. He has to do some serious training if he's gonna succeed over there in MMA, depending on what company he's gonna go with. Moving right along, Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master, former UFC bantamweight champion, most title defenses in the 135-pound division, has been offered 3 fights. One of them he named was Calvin Kattar. Now, not sure. I mean, I think it's an interesting fight with Calvin Kattar. I think it will be too soon if he was to get in the cage with Max Holloway. That's pretty much main event, fight night, pay-per-view worthy. But I gotta see Aljo over there at 145. I think he belongs at 145 now. He's a chiseled Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu MMA fighter out there in New York, and it seemed like he'll kill himself going over to 135 over and over again. Granted, he had to do it in order to make weight and defend the 135-pound title, but I don't see no point doing it no more. Why should you chase Sean O'Malley? It'll be more interesting to get your feet wet over at 145. Let O'Malley chase you, because obviously he's a big 135-pounder, and you never know, you might get that rematch over at 145. I mean, look at this scenario. What if Aljo was to go to 145 and he gets his feet wet, defeats Kattar, Calvin Kattar, defeats Max Holloway, defeats Alex Volkanovski, wins the 145-pound title. And Sean O'Malley at 135, the one who beat you for that 135-pound belt, actually gets an impressive streak going, defending the title, beats Chito Vera and whoever comes up, clears out the division. You have a clear-cut rematch. Champion versus champion. O'Malley versus Aljo at 145. That'd be interesting. Something I would think about. But moving right along, we got the cousin of Khabib Nurmagomedov, Usman Nurmagomedov, test positive for banned substance. Now, anybody who doesn't know, he is the Bellator lightweight champion, defending the title in the lightweight Grand Prix over in Bellator. I don't like this. It's already been, I was so anticipated for this Grand Prix, this tournament. Winner gets $1 million, walks out lightweight champion. When the competitors were announced, the fights in the first rounds were announced, I was already calling my shot. I was already saying, what was it gonna fucking be? You had Picatree Pitbull, you have Nurmagomedov, you had lightweight legend Benson Henderson. Shit, you even had the mercenary AJ McKee. Now, we can go back in my tweets if we want to. I guarantee you're gonna find this shit. I just gotta find it. When there was a 145-pound Grand Prix featherweight, and Patricio Pitbull was in the tournament, defending the title through the whole tournament, before the damn Grand Prix ever took place, before the first fight, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, whatever. I called it. I called the finals what it was gonna be. Patricio Pitbull versus AJ McKee, finals, featherweight gold. Not only did I call that shit, but it happened. Not only did it happen, I was fucking there at the Forum in Los Angeles, California, watching it in Inglewood, live. And he finished Patricio Pitbull. AJ McKee, fucking phenomenal fighter. I was calling it. He's 1-1 with Patricio Pitbull, going up to 155 now, making Patricio chase him, and wants to beat up on his beat up his brother Patricky, and claim the lightweight title. I think AJ versus Patricky Pitbull, I think AJ slaughters him. Usman Nurmagomedov, I think he's a one-trick pony. Okay, you could take down AJ McKee, but if you guys don't know, go back on YouTube and find AJ McKee versus Darren Caldwell. Oh, he took him down. Caldwell was a pretty good wrestler, trains with Dominic Cruz. He took him down. Look what he did. Submitted him in a fucking guillotine I ain't never fucking seen before. Submitting a former 135-pound champion at Bellator. Oh, then what he did against Patricio in the finals. Not only did he knock him out, he had a little rookie mistake. He didn't continue the strikes. He paid the respect to Patricio when he was out and didn't follow up. And Patricio was still there. And referee didn't even stop the fight. So what he did was he went up to Patricio and put him in a guillotine. Put him to sleep. He's already out cold anyway. So they're 1-on-1. McKee actually caught an injury and withdrew from the tournament. So it must go on. So I thought it was going to be, I had to change up my prediction, because my prediction was going to be Usman Nurmagomedov in the finals against AJ McKee. Lightweight championship winner, get $1 million. And I was picking AJ McKee to win one of the few people to win 2 Grand Prix in Bellator, 2 weight division champion, $2 million, and beating Usman Nurmagomedov, taking that O and making it a 1, making him defeated since he's currently undefeated. And look what happens. Not only did we lose McKee due to injury, Usman Nurmagomedov tested positive for a substance with his fight at Bellator 300 against Brett Premis, another former lightweight champion. And what happens, not only did he test positive, he has to be pulled from the Grand Prix. His win against Brett Premis is no longer a win, it's a no contest, and he's stripped of the title. So Brett Premis is now going to the finals to face the winner of Patricio and his opponent, whoever the fuck that is. I have no idea sometimes who these Bellator fighters are. And AJ McKee, he's facing Sidney Outlaw at the lightweight showcase as well. I got McKee winning. It's a tough fight though. But you're going to get a finals in the lightweight Grand Prix. But what happens next? What the fuck does happen next? We don't care what Nurmagomedov, happens now. He got stripped. I don't think we're going to see him again. I don't think he's going to be champion again. I would like to see the winner of the Grand Prix face AJ McKee. I think AJ McKee deserves, he lost his chance on $1 million. He got injured, pretty much to each his own. But he does deserve a shot if he keeps winning at the lightweight gold. I think they should have that. And if it ends up being Patricio Pitbull, you still get the fight you want. The same fight that was scheduled for earlier this year. You get Patricio Pitbull, who won the Grand Prix, if he wins, goes and defends the title, the lightweight gold, against AJ McKee. And AJ McKee has the chance and the opportunity, finally, to be the one guy, because Michael Chandler tried it in the past, to be the one guy to defeat both Pitbull brothers. That would be so fucking awesome. And then if Bellator wants to sell the PFL, who knows? I'm still kind of curious what they do with AJ McKee. He, since he went up to 155, he signed a extension with Bellator. And Bellator looked like it's going to be no more soon. So it's like, what do you do? This is going to get really, really fucked up. But I think with AJ McKee, sky's the limit when it comes down to him. He was dangerous at 145. Probably he was killing himself to fucking make the weight. But at 155, he's just as dangerous with that extra weight. He's knocking motherfuckers out. His wrestling is definitely on point. His jiu-jitsu submission game is fucking superb. I think he's the next best thing. I think he's the next big star. I just think he needs that big organization and big push to the stars in order to show, what he can really do. And I think the UFC is the perfect place for that, if they can release him. Speaking of release, Dylan Dennis was released from his Bellator contract, and now he's been trying to pursue a contract with the UFC. Don't get me wrong, Dylan Dennis could really sell a fight. I think he learned a lot of that from his friend and training partner, Conor McGregor. But people say what he should do. I think really he should go to that, I forgot what organization that is that's doing a grappling contest with George St. Pierre, MMA legend, UFC welterweight and middleweight champion. I think that would have been perfect as far as jiu-jitsu goes. That would have been perfect for Dylan Dennis to showcase his skills. Obviously, they're going to probably go with Nick Diaz since there's a backstory to that. But Dylan Dennis, he's a 170-pounder, which is welterweight. Welterweight is a very, very dangerous division. You got the likes of Colby Covington, you got Leon Edwards, you got the new rising upcomer Ian Gary. You got Stephen Thompson. You got Bilal Muhammad. You got a lot of fucking killers there. And the crazy shit is everybody who I just named, not only can they fuck around on the ground, they can really grapple, they can wrestle, they can do all of this in jiu-jitsu, but they can strike. And Dylan Dennis just got done striking with Logan Paul in a boxing match a few weeks ago. Not impressed. And if you're gonna go over there and train at SBG, where MMA star and legend Conor McGregor is, you gotta get on tight. You gotta really tighten up your damn striking. I don't think Dana White is interested in just signing a guy who can get people talking on Twitter, known as X, and is great on jiu-jitsu. Okay, you're jiu-jitsu world class. You need the wrestling. You need the striking. You need a whole package. If he can get that whole package, I see Dylan Dennis within 2, maybe 2.5 years winning UFC gold. That's what I see. I think it'll be fucking entertaining. I just don't think you can do it as a one-trick pony. Moving right along, UFC 295 was going down in my home state, New York, Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, John Jones and Stipe Miocic did not fight for the heavyweight title. It was replaced with Sergey Popovich versus Tom Aspinall, interim heavyweight title. And it also was headlined by the light heavyweight championship in Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. I'm gonna get to the Prochazka versus Pereira match. That shit was crazy. At first I was picking Yuri, but then when I thought about it, Yuri actually is coming off the quote unquote worst shoulder injury in history, and he had to be he vacated the title. He didn't want to hold up the division. Coming back, he's going straight to a title fight, and Pereira moved up from 185 to 205. Just beat Jan Block. I can't even say his last name. I suck. Fuck it. Polish Power. Look him up. Beat him, but now it's here for the title. Jamal Hill was the current light heavyweight champion, and he had to pull out. They said it was a knee injury. They said he tore his Achilles. Whatever it is, he's injured. Pereira knocks out Prochazka. Now is a 2-weight division champion. Holy shit. In just 11 fights in MMA. That's crazy. And he drops the ball and calls out Israel Adesanya. I don't see the point. Israel is taking time off. Well-deserved time off. He fucking double-lapped the 185-pound division. He slept Pereira back in April in Miami. I don't see why you're calling out Izzy. Izzy's taking a vacation. He deserves it. He's enjoying it, relaxing. You don't just need physical rehab. You need mental rehab. You need to enjoy, the fruits of your labor when you're a fucking superstar in the UFC. So, calling him up, what? So he can pack on some weight, fight for the title at 205, give everybody the 4th match. I mean, this would be, the 5th match, but 3rd in the UFC. I don't see the point. Dude, stop. You need to get, I think Jamal Hill deserves a shot. I think he can sell the fight. I mean, Pereira, obviously, no emotion on his face, ain't selling shit. So, yeah, I think Pereira versus Hill should be the fight at 205. Hopefully it's next summer when Jamal Hill heals up. Hopefully he heals up 100%, and we're going to get a crazy fucking fight. Jamal Hill's been sleeping every fucking body. Moving right along. This is what I want to get into. Interim heavyweight championship. Aspinall versus Popovich. And Aspinall sleeps the fuck out of Pavlovich. Holy shit. Both guys coming from maybe 2.5 weeks notice of stepping in. Aspinall was on vacation, knocks Sergey out in the first fucking round. Holy fuck. That's batshit crazy. That's batshit crazy. And now it's all about what do you do next. I mean, he's now the third Brit to be a UFC champion. The first one was Michael Bisping. Second one was Leon Edwards, who's the current welterweight champion, going to defend against Colby Covington next month. Holy shit, that's crazy. Damn, and he did it in spectacular fashion. No training camp. Blew his back out, but before he got the call. Yeah, congrats to him. Well deserved. But now what do you do with an interim champion? Do you defend the championship? Do you wait? I don't see the point on waiting. People say he should wait. Let Jones fight Stipe. Jones is out on a pec injury. You tore the pec right off the bone, and he's gonna, when he comes back, he wants Stipe. Stipe was at UFC 295 in New York, and he said he wants Jones. But we all know this is a legacy fight. You got the heavyweight GOAT in Stipe and the GOAT himself, John Jones, fighting in a legacy fight. This is a legacy fight, which means people are retiring after. Jones don't want to keep doing this anymore. He wants to enjoy his life and everything with his family. And Stipe wants to do the same thing. They both deserve it. Win, lose, or draw, they both deserve it. No one's coming back to defend the undisputed crown against Tom Aspinall, a rising star. We would love to have that. Let's say Jones defeats Stipe, and probably International Fight Week in July in Vegas, which I don't think Jones should go anywhere near Vegas. Bad history. And then goes right to New York, where he should have been fighting, as a New Yorker, should be fighting and defend, against Tom Aspinall, the fight we want. But that would mean Tom Aspinall has to sit on the shelf for a year. He already did that. He had a knee injury and he was on the shelf. I don't think he should do that. Hell, I don't even think they should keep him interim champion. We've had these problems before. I mean, there was a problem with Renan Barão. Renan Barão, when Dominic Cruz was a bantamweight champion, Renan Barão won against Uriah Faber and won the interim title and was defending the interim title. They were waiting for Dominic Cruz to come back and defend the undisputed championship against Renan Barão. Renan Barão was going to events defending the interim title. This shit was highlighted. Interim bantamweight championship. What the fuck are you defending the second? I mean, kudos to Renan. He was literally staying active. But when they finally got word that Dominic Cruz was not coming back, they upgraded Renan Barão to actual bantamweight champion. And what happened next? TJ Dillashaw takes him out. New champion. What the fuck we were waiting for, an interim title to fight the actual crown champion? Like, why do we wait for this? Why are we making interim titles? Then fast forward, we had the same problem with Michael Bisping when he took a short notice fight with Luke Rockhold, won the middleweight championship, fresh off of filming. I think he was filming Triple X Part 3 or some shit, and Robert Whittaker was the interim middleweight champion. The fuck? So we're waiting for Whittaker, an Australian, to fight the UK Brit and Michael Bisping for the middleweight crown. What happens? It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Michael Bisping sets up a fight at Madison Square Garden against George St. Pierre for the middleweight title, while we still got an interim champion. GSP just snuck in and beat Michael Bisping for the middleweight crown at, I forgot which UFC it was, but it was in New York, submits him in a rear naked choke, And we think we're going to get the GSP versus Whitaker for the undisputed crown. No! Whitaker just upgrades to fucking middleweight champion. The fuck was that? And then fast forward that, Whitaker loses the middleweight title to Israel Adesanya. So now we're back in the same boat. We're back in the same fucking boat with an interim champion in Tom Aspinall, rising star in the UK. And we got a current heavyweight champion in Johnny Bones Jones and a guy who was guaranteed a title shot, Stipe Miocic, former two-time world champion. And now we got a dilemma. Can the UFC figure out something? Yes, I think they can. Do they want to? I don't think they give a shit. Well, not to do it now. It's November. We still got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. We're still promoting that what? We got UFC 295 already passed. We got 296 next month. Kobe versus Edwards for the welterweight title. We got UFC 297 in January. Strickland versus Duplessis, middleweight crown on the line. We got UFC 298 in February. Volkanovski defending the 145-pound crown. And then we got what was it? Let's see. 6, 7, 8. Wait, UFC 299. We got O'Malley versus Chito Vera, part 2. Bantamweight title on the line. Fuck, we gotta figure this out. I mean, they still got a handful of shit they gotta figure out. Plus, with our next transition subject, UFC 300, coming in April. They still haven't figured that out. What's gonna be the big headliner for that? I mean, from what I hear, they talking Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Finally! And is that a fight? Is that a fight that should be headlining UFC 300? Probably not, depending on how you look at it. Is it going to bring eyes with that main event? Hell fuck yeah. Two warriors that go at it crazy. First simultaneously two-weight champion, lightweight and featherweight, Conor McGregor, facing former 3-time Bellator lightweight champion, Michael Chandler, a fucking dog in the cage. Yeah, that could get some fucking eyes. But you need a card for UFC 300. Bellator 300 just came with their fucking big guns. Try to do a 4-title fight type of event. One fell out due to whatever, injuries maybe. Didn't do well. Oh well. But then you got UFC 300. You got to show that you can do a 300 better than Bellator. Can you? I think they can. They got plenty of players that they can add on to this card. I mean, are they gonna try to do it like if it's a UFC New York type of situation? First UFC to take place in New York was 3 world titles on the line. You had a strawweight title, you had a welterweight title in the co-main event, and then you had Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez, which is also an arch nemesis of Michael Chandler. Lightweight gold, but at the time Conor was featherweight champion, so it was a champion versus champion. It sells. You got 4 champions on one press conference. It sold. How you gonna do it now? Where are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? Can it be? I don't think it's gonna be in New York. Can they do it in Las Vegas? Nah. I mean, they're about to be in Las Vegas next month. Are you gonna go to Vegas again? Let's see. Maybe. Could they do it in Denver, where UFC was born? Maybe. But till then, we don't know till they fucking say something. But that's all the time we got. I'm your boy Jax. This is the Drop That Podcast. You can find us on youtube.com/@DropThatPodcast, or you can see us talking our shit the way we want, saying whatever the fuck we want on wrestling, pro boxing, MMA, film and television, whatever, hip hop. We talk our shit. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at DropThatPod_13. I'm your boy Jax. Have a good night.